Hey guys, Dantix here. Finally, we've gotten a good look at the next set of heroes coming to Marvel Rivals, Venom and Adam Warlock. Rivals is confirmed to be launching on PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S, all of which seem to be getting another closed beta in July. I recently talked about both Venom and Adam as well as other characters in development in my leaked characters video, so check that out below. I'm honestly incredibly pumped for these two characters in particular. Adam Warlock especially has some interesting abilities that will shake up the game, and Venom just looks extremely fun to play. Speaking of Venom, so like many people suspected, he's a mobile tank. Honestly, this is much better than another DPS and very much suits his character. To compensate for his ridiculous movement, he has 700 HP, which is lower than the 900 of Hulk and Groot, but higher than the 600 of Doctor Strange, though Doctor Strange has that 800 shield, so effectively more HP than all of them. So yes, Venom doesn't have much HP, but keep in mind his abilities let him get in and out of trouble quickly, and he has ways of mitigating damage. His in-game bio is, when Spider-Man rejected a symbiotic alien that he had once believed to be a mere costume, the creature formed a new bond with a man who shared its disdain for Peter Parker. Together, the symbiote and Eddie Brock became a lethal protector known as Venom. While displaced in time and fighting the occult wars, Venom glimpsed the horrific future awaiting this timeline. To prevent the future from happening, Venom knows he only has two options: kill the Dark God Null or imprison him and take his throne. So Venom has the ability to cling to walls, which we can see in his starting sting, as well as scale them just like Spider-Man. Also like Spider-Man, he can web sling around, though as you can see here, he only seems to get one charge instead of the 3, with an 8-second cooldown, so although he has tricks to get in and out, he isn't as maneuverable as Spider-Man. That being said, 8 seconds is very low for movement that lets him traverse long distances extremely quickly. We all saw how it worked with Spider-Man and how hard it was to lock him down. Venom's left click or right trigger is a melee attack which unleashes tentacles forward to attack enemies in melee range. It won't be like Groot's Mr. Fantastic style range punch, though it will have more range than Spider-Man's melee. Frenzied Arrival seems to function differently if it's on the ground or in the air. In the air, you get the option for a diving strike, which slams to the ground, damaging and knocking back those hit. A perfect ability for a tank who wants to get in and disrupt. Cellular Corrosion is on L2 here, or right click, and it unleashes tentacles to slow enemies within reach. Enemies unable to break free in time will suffer damage. And you'll also suffer damage if you don't hit that like button right now. We see Venom's ultimate Feast of the Abyss, which burrows him underground for free movement. After a duration or by pressing the left mouse, or R2 in this case, you devour enemies above and generate bonus health. The exact amount for killing Star-Lord is 37, so not that much against a lone enemy, but a lot if you hit a group. It seems to allow you to move freely for about 8 seconds, but Venom is also targetable as he is moving in this form, confirmed because we can see him taking damage in the footage. It's unclear how much damage devouring enemies will do, but it'll no doubt be high for a tank, as it seems you're not doing it for the bonus health unless you hit multiple people, which won't be easy. Finally, he has a passive Symbiotic Resilience, which generates bonus health against damage. The lower Venom's health, the greater the bonus health generated. Venom has a lot of ways to get in and get out, making him a very tricky movement-based melee tank. Just from looking at the data mined abilities, I thought there was no way they would give a tank so much movement, but here we are. He can wait on walls for the perfect time to drop in and disrupt groups of enemies. He can also forego setup and just swing on in and drop right on their heads with a diving strike. He can also use Frenzied Arrival to get in when on the ground or dash out when in trouble. And although he has less health than most tanks, he seems to be more damage resistant as he has symbiotic resistance and bonus health from Feast of the Abyss. Venom also gets a team-up symbiote bond. Venom shares a part of his symbiotes with Spider-Man or Penny Parker, activating their symbiote abilities. Spider-Man or Penny Parker can convert the symbiotes into explosive spikes that inflict harm on nearby enemies and relentlessly drive them back, meaning they both get extra damage and knockback effects on a new skill, which you see them both doing here. If Venom is close by, it seems to show an animation of him sharing the symbiote, though he simply needs to be in the match on the same team as Spider-Man or Penny Parker for them to get his skill. Similar to how it works for other team-ups like Magneto and Scarlet Witch. You can activate this ability with Triangle on PS5, and I think it'll be C on PC. Next up is Adam Warlock. He's a 250 HP ranged support hero like we expected. He's the first self-revival hero in the game who can also revive teammates, even out the damage they've taken, and heal. Though his team-up seems a little broken. This is his in-game bio. Adam Warlock was created to be the perfect specimen. Able to manipulate powerful cosmic forces, he represents the full potential of what we could one day become. Until then, he stands alone as a shining golden beacon of all that is good within us. When the time stream entanglement struck, Adam Warlock reflexively shielded himself in a protective cocoon. When he emerged, his cosmic senses identified Null's impending threat. Adam's encountered the Guardians of the Galaxy and discovered a power even greater than Null's, ready to incinerate the planet and countless others. So Adam Warlock's first ability is the star of the show, Regenerative Cocoon. Once his body perishes, Adam Warlock can freely move his soul and reforge his body at a chosen spot. In the data mine, we had no idea how it would work. Now though, we can see it has a 60-second cooldown. So if he dies, he can choose a location like you do with Doctor Strange's portals. You'll then revive there as long as the ability is not on cooldown. This means it'll be very hard for the enemy team to keep him down for good, especially if he has a tank keeping him safe by disrupting the enemy team. His left click or right trigger is a ranged attack called Quantum Magic. We don't see it in action, but we do see the right click or left trigger ability, Cosmic Cluster, which gathers quantum energy into a cluster, then swiftly launches it at the enemy. It doesn't do a lot of damage to Magneto, but it seems like both these abilities will heal allies when cast on them. We see Adam casting Soul Bond and then following it up with Avatar Life Stream. Soul Bond unites the souls of allies in a bond, granting them healing over time and distributing damage taken across the bond. Avatar Life Stream targets an ally for a bouncing stream of healing energy, which also heals himself upon casting. Self-targets if no ally is selected. I was worried about Soul Bond since distributing damage between linked enemies could put lower health allies in a critical spot or outright kill them if they're linked with a tank hero who's taken a lot of damage. However, we haven't seen enough to be sure. Only Rocket seems to have taken damage, and the heal over time it granted plus the Avatar Livestream heal got him up to full very quickly. I imagine Adam will need to be careful when and where he casts Soul Bond if it does evenly share damage. His ultimate is Karmic Revival. It awakens the karma of allies to revive them. Allies have lower health but enjoy a brief period of invincibility. So yes, this is an absolutely insane ultimate, and the first ultimate you may want to hold on to a while to get the best use out of. You can revive groups of allies at once and turn the tides of battle, and if you get downed, you can rejoin the fight right away. That's not all. Adam Warlock can also grant Star-Lord or Mantis his Cocooned Revival ability because his team-up ability Guardian Revival does so. You see here Star-Lord reviving with it and it going on its 60-second cooldown. Even if Adam isn't broken, the fact that he can keep a potent DPS character on the front lines will completely change how he'll play. And if you have Mantis with you, it will mean that your team will have two very powerful healers not able to be removed easily with a DPS that keeps the damage coming. All you need is a competent tank and you'll be playing against a very frustrated team. It has me worried that a 60-second cooldown might not be long enough. There's no amount of undertuning you can give Adam to compensate for being able to mass revive his allies actively and passively keep his team on the front lines. Because his ultimate is game changing and his passive is so powerful, the rest of his kit needs to be undertuned. From the damage he deals around 32 Magneto, I expect him to have barely any killing power. So his job will be to sit back, heal while damaging enemies similar to Lunar Snow or Mantis, though unlike them both, you don't want to be side by side with your team at any point in the game. You want to truly be sitting back. When one ally takes all the damage, you heal then Soul Bond, hoping not to get anyone killed. If your team starts getting picked off, ultimate, then Soul Bond and a life stream. Keeping your team topped up seems to be Adam's style. Either we all die or nobody does. And when that's the case, you mass revival. Suddenly a fantastic Scarlet Witch or Iron Man ultimate isn't so perfect if you didn't catch Adam Warlock as well. Heroes never die. So that's Venom and Adam Warlock. What did you think? Excited to play them? Let me know below and be sure to like and sub. I'll be back for all things Rival and RPG. Ciao friends.